Many thanks for joining today's edition of Aso Briefing. I am Richard Alechinwanyebe. Our top stories. President Tinubu to swear in Olatunji Disu as IGP on Wednesday. FCTA Exco approves 8.4 billion naira for waste management, security, and flood relief in Abuja. Land business Nigerian net reserves hit $34.8 billion in 2025. You're watching Aso Briefing. Don't forget that you can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, StarTimes TV channel 127, and on Free TV, look us up on channel 507. On the UHF band, you can find us on channel 38. Don't also forget that this news is streaming live on our Facebook and YouTube channels. Now we go ahead with details of all our stories. President Bola Tinubu will on Wednesday swear in Olatunji Disu as the substantive Inspector General of Police, following the unanimous endorsement of his appointment by the Nigerian Police Council on Monday. Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, announced in a statement on Monday. According to the statement, the swearing-in ceremony will take place during the Federal Executive Council meeting scheduled for the same day. This confirmation comes barely a week after President Tinubu appointed him acting IGP, following the resignation of Olukayode Egbetokun last Tuesday. Disu 59 was born on April 13, 1966 in Lagos State and joined the Nigerian Police Force on May the 18th, 1992 as a cadet Assistant Inspector General of Police. He holds multiple qualifications in public administration, forensic investigation, criminology, security, legal psychology, and entrepreneurship credentials that the presidency said reflect his commitment to knowledge-driven modern policing. Prior to his appointment, Disu served as Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the Special Protection Unit and the Force CID Annex in Lagos. Like his predecessor, Disu served under President Tinubu during his tenure as Lagos State Governor from 1999 to 2007. While Egbetokun was the Chief Security Officer, Disu served as aide-de-camp. Now, the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has approved contracts worth over 8.4 billion naira as its 18th Executive Committee meeting covering waste management, flood relief support, and security enhancement in Abuja. Briefing journalists after the meeting chaired by the Minister of the FCT, Barrister Ezin Monyeson-Wike, officials said 8.3 billion naira was ratified for waste collection services in 4 districts of the Federal Capital City and diesel supply to the Wupa waste treatment plants, while another memo cleared the procurement of food and non-food items for flood-affected residents. The ESCO also approved 1.13 billion naira for the emergency purchase of communication gadgets for the FCT Security Agency, as authorities highlighted improvements in the issuance of certificates of occupancy and want property owners to comply with land use regulations and payment of statutory charges.
By the special grace of God, in today's ESCO, we did present and seek the ratification of 2 memos that was graciously approved by the ESCO. The first memo was the memo seeking the approval and ratification of contract for the provision of waste collection and management services in 4 delineated districts of the Federal Capital City, and the supply of NGO diesel to Wupa basic waste treatment plant for the period of 2 years. And the memo was graciously approved by the ESCO. The total figure for the award of these 4 contracts amounted to 7.3 billion naira.
In today's ESCO meeting, the ESCO have approved and ratified award of contract for the emergency procurement of communication gadgets and other equipment for FCT Security Agency in the sum of 1,133,802,500 naira only. The essence of this project is to support the FCT Security Agency in carrying out their assignment within the territory.
Mine is to update you on certificates of occupancy on properties in Abuja. As we are aware, certificates of occupancy issuance to property owners in Abuja have greatly improved in terms of the time it takes to get that produced and released. Gone are the days when you pay for CFO, you wait years, in some cases decades, to have your certificate produced and issued to you. Now, whether it was an old grant or recent grants made by the minister, as long as you pay your certificate of occupancy bill, you could have your CFO within a time period as short as 1 week.
The chairman of Abaji Area Council, Haji Abubakar Omar Abdullahi, has presented a brand new day-long motorcycle to Comrade Salisu Isa Smart in recognition of his unwavering loyalty, commitment, and steadfast support. The presentation, which took place in Abaji, was described as a gesture of appreciation for the young supporters' remarkable show of dedication during the last FCT Area Council elections. Comrade Isa Smart, a vibrant and determined youth from Abaji, trekked from Abaji main town to Abuja city center to celebrate the resounding victory of the chairman. The action drew admiration from residents who described it as a rare display of loyalty and solidarity. While presenting the motorcycle, Comrade Chairman Abdullahi commended the young man for his resilience and passion, noting that youth who demonstrate such commitments to democratic processes deserve encouragement and support. The gesture has been widely applauded by residents who describe it as a moral booster for the young people in the area and a demonstration of inclusive leadership. Observers also offered prayers for the executive chairman, asking God to grant him wisdom, strength, and success in the discharge of his responsibilities for the continued development of Abaji Area Council. The FCT coordinator of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors for Tinubu 2027, Alhaji Abdullahi Adamu Candido, has commended residents of the Federal Capital Territory for massively voting candidates of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, in the just concluded FCT Area Council elections. Candido gave the commendation during a post-Area Council election press conference held in Abuja. Here is the report.
The FCT Renewed Hope Ambassador Coordinator Alhaji Abdullahi Adamu Candido said upon assumption office, he immediately set the machinery in motion ahead of the area council elections by embarking on strategic visit to chiefdoms, support groups, and various associations across the territory. He thanked residents for turning out in large numbers to vote for APC candidates, noting that the outcome clearly demonstrates that FCT residents appreciate the developmental strides of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, particularly through the effort of the FCT Minister Barrister Yensu Nwike.
The last 2.5 years in the Federal Capital Territory has been so good with the administration of Mr. President through the support and services rendered by the Minister. It has never been so good in the past couple of years as far as the administration of the Federal Capital Territory is concerned. Here we have a minister who has toiled around the FCT.
Speaking on the issue of voter apathy recorded in some areas, Candido assured that the Renew Hope ambassadors would intensify sensitization campaigns to educate residents on the importance of participating in elections, especially at the grassroots level. He expressed optimism that there will be improved voter turnout in the 2027 presidential election in the FCT.
And our engagement before the presidential election will further give a boost, all right? And it all depends on the services rendered by our local governments. We urge them to, sit up right now to face the reality of governance. Let the people be happy to come out, to vote because of the services rendered by the elected officials. And I think that is our resolve to ensure that this engagement starts right ahead.
On the earlier projection by the FCT chairman of the Association of Local Government of Nigeria, Algon, and chairman of Kwali Area Council, Mr. Dalladi Chia, that the council election outcome will be 6/6 in favor of the APC, Candido said the party remains confident and hopeful of achieving greater victories in future elections.
I want to assure you, by the grace of God, with the commitment of the Renewed Hope ambassadors, In the next area council election, which will likely be in the next 3-4 years, we should be able to change the narrative because we were not in place before now. But it's our resolve that we are going to now engage the electorates properly for them to understand the importance of local government election. This is the most important government that is supposed to be well given attention by residents.
In the just concluded FCT area council elections, the All Progressive Congress APC won 5 out of the 6 area councils in the territory. The briefing was attended by the 6 area council coordinators and 4 directors of the FCT Renewed Hope ambassadors for Tunumbu 2027. Abdullahi Mukhtar, Aso Television News.
The Senate Committee on Finance has rejected the 2026 budget proposal and defense presented by the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, describing the document submitted by the agency as clumsy, scanty, and unprecedented. The committee, chaired by Senator Sani Musa, directed the commission to return with a more detailed and properly structured budget presentation on Thursday, March the 5th, with clear financial assumptions and reconciled figures. Senator Issa expressed dissatisfaction with inconsistencies in revenue figures, remittances, and outstanding obligations contained in the document presented by the Registrar General and the Chief Executive Officer of CAC, Husseini Ishak Magaji. The chairman of the committee, Senator Sani Musa, subsequently asked CAC to review its submission and provide comprehensive explanations addressing revenue remittances, outstanding liabilities, and financial projections.
An accounting firm or what have you, what you need to do, we will step you down now. Then you make sure that you package everything so that by the time you present to us and we looked at it, whatever question we have to raise, we'll raise it. I know that you are not taking any money from the national budget. You are self-funded, but there is a certain percentage that's supposed to be retained by you and the other to be remitted to the Consolidated Revenue Fund.
Earlier, Magaji tendered an unreserved apology to the committee over his absence at the previous budget defense session and interactive meeting with the federal government's economic team, blaming the incident on an internal communication crisis within the commission.
Sir, it is not our conduct and it's not my conduct. I hold this committee in high esteem, sir. What happened that day, sir, it's actually a miscommunication between our staff and the committee. I was coming from Lagos, sir, and I asked them to come in advance to let the committee know that I'm coming because we received the letter a day, evening before that day. So I had to leave some of the activities that took me to Lagos and rush back. And unfortunately, I came late. And if you could observe, sir, I was there at the last sitting. My name is being reflected in the attendance. So, and I observed that I have issues internally in my commission concerning communication between the National Assembly and my commission.
The absence had earlier angered lawmakers, prompting calls for President Bola Tinubu to sack the Registrar General over what senators described as disrespect to the Senate. Following a motion moved by Senator Issa Jibril, the committee rescinded its earlier resolution recommending his removal and withdrew proposed disciplinary measures. When Aso Briefing returns, we have more stories for you on business and others. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Stakeholders in the fintech ecosystem in Nigeria have registered their support, accompanied with a pocket of concerns for the establishment of a commission to regulate activities of operators for improved service. The stakeholders made separate presentations at a public hearing on a bill for the establishment of Nigeria Fintech Regulatory Commission and related matters organized by the House of Representatives Joint Committee on Banking and Technology at the National Assembly, while the acting National Chairman Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, Mr. Obioha Otto, gave and expressed support. Chief Compliance Officer of Hydrogen Payment Systems Company Limited, Ms. Mojishola Ologe, the Secretary, Unified Payment Systems Limited, Mr. Sylvester Adahada, as well as representatives of Network International, Mr. Akinyemi Adepoju, and that of Fair Money Microfinance Bank, Mr. Henry Obiike, among others, reserved that instead of an entirely new regulator, existing institutions should be rather strengthened to guide against duplication.
I stand here on behalf of over 2 million POS and mobile money agents operating across all 36 states of Nigeria, including the FCT. We wish to clearly state that AMBAN fully supports the bill for the establishment of the Nigerian Fintech Regulatory Commission. We believe it is a welcome development that will strengthen transparency, consumer protection, and financial system stability.
Section 31 of the bill imposes immediate heavy fines, imprisonment, and forfeiture for unlicensed activity. While deterrence is important, over-criminalization in emerging industries can discourage innovation and foreign investment. For this, we recommend an initial administrative compliance window, cease and desist orders where systemic risk exists, criminal sanctions reserved for fraud, willful misconduct, and persistent refusal to comply.
Permit me to please begin by commending the House for the foresight and leadership in sponsoring this bill, which represents a timely and strategic response to the rapid growth of technology-driven solutions within the fintech ecosystem. We will propose that the bill should be activity-focused, in that what the bill should seek to regulate is the specific activities of entities rather than what the entities do entirely.
We at Fair Money are not opposed to regulation within the fintech space. We think it's important and we want regulations to be strengthened. However, what we see with this bill is something that is going to result in duplication of regulations and regulators, right? And for us, this can create significant compliance burden. And it creates...
Sponsor of the bill, Mr. Fuad of the bill, revealed that his discovery of non-existent regulatory body for operators in the sector propelled the sponsorship. Chairman House Committee on Digital, Ukbong Udo, in his opening remarks, described the engagement as a reflection of the legislature's commitment to building a responsive and forward-looking legal framework that keeps pace with the rapid evolution of financial technology in Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Rosemary Kokotega reports that Speaker Tajuddin Abbas declared Dr. Adebayo Adepoju, recognizing that fintech as a major tool for advancing financial inclusion in the country with one of the largest unbanked populations in the world. The federal government has unveiled a $552 million Hope for Quality Basic Education for All program aimed at accelerating reforms in Nigeria's basic education sector. This was contained in a statement issued on Tuesday in Abuja by Biruewo Folashade, Director of Press and Public Relations at the Federal Ministry of Education. According to the statement, the initiative, facilitated by the ministry, is designed to improve foundational learning, expand access to basic education, and strengthen education systems across participating states. Biruewo quoted the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, as saying that the program aligns with the Nigeria Education Sector Renewal Initiative and is structured to promote measurable, transparent, and result-based reforms. He described the development as a defining moment in Nigeria's education transformation, noting that the activation of the country's education financing. The Hope Edu program is co-financed by the World Bank and Global Partnership for Education. The initiative is expected to expand equitable access to a basic quality education and strengthen institutional capacity and accountability across participating states. Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, said it has approved an extension of its student loan application portal following a significant increase by its ongoing sensitization campaign. A statement by the Director of Strategic Communications Monday said that the decision followed a reminder notice issued last week informing the public that the NEL Fund student loan application portal would close on February 28, 2026. According to the statement, the extension was specifically intended to accommodate students who require additional time. Prospective applicants who became aware of the scheme during the recent nationwide sensitization engagements, institutions newly commencing their 2025-2026 academic session, and institutions who have not yet submitted their verified student lists. Speaking on the development, the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of NEL Fund, Akintunde Sawyer, reaffirmed the fund's commitment to inclusivity and equitable access. NEL Fund reiterated the 2025-2026 academic session must submit an official request for extension accompanied by the approved academic calendar for consideration. According to the statement, NEL Fund said it remained committed to transparency, accountability, and the delivery of sustainable student financing solutions that remove financial barriers to higher education in Nigeria. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has recovered another stolen vehicle during a routine enforcement operation in Lagos. The vehicle, a Toyota Sienna, was impounded on Saturday by operatives of the Corps at the Isolo Unit Command for a vehicle license violation after the driver failed to present valid documents. The vehicle had been reported stolen. Officers of the Nigerian Police Force at Jao Division for further action. The FRSC says the recovery and the National Vehicle Identification Scheme and of vehicles nationwide. The Corps noted that routine traffic enforcement continues to play a vital role not only in ensuring compliance but also in strengthening national security and combating vehicle thefts. Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed commended the patrol team and reaffirmed the Corps' commitment to leveraging technology and intelligence to safeguard lives and property. The General Overseer of the Dunamis International Gospel Center, Dr. Pastor Paul Enenche, has donated a brand new patrol vehicle to the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, to enhance road safety enforcement in Abuja. The brief handing over ceremony took place within the church's premises at the Glory Dome in Abuja. Daniel Obi tells us more.
Dr. Eneche, who was decorated as a special corps marshal alongside his wife, Dr. Becky Eneche, stated that the donation aimed to save lives and ease the work of FRSC personnel, particularly along the busy Airport Road corridor. He expressed concern over the recent rise in road crashes and emphasized the church's commitment to partnering with FRSC to reduce accidents.
The motivation is serving God and serving humanity as well, because God made man in his image, and it is not possible to love God without loving people. So what we are doing right now is to ensure that lives are saved, is to ensure that the work is effortless for them, and to ensure that people fulfill their days instead of being cut short because of safety situations.
Receiving the vehicle, Assistant Corps Marshal Godwin Omike, representing the Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed, described the donation as a wonderful gesture and a call to action for other well-meaning Nigerians. He emphasized that road safety is a shared responsibility.
When we have our patrol cars on duty, it aids us as men on the road to do our work. And we expect, as I said earlier, that those who make use of the road should avoid speed, because speed is the major cause of accident.
The FCT sector commander, Felix Teman, warned that the donation would not exempt church members from traffic regulations, stressing that offenders would be sanctioned accordingly.
For December alone, 15 December to 15 January, we lost 597 persons across the country. And our own share of the FCT were the highest in terms of fatality, in terms of crashes. And this airport road happens to be the one with the highest killer, this airport road. And if we can have, by the grace of God, Pastor Enenche on our side on this campaign, we believe that the entire of this congregation are also on our side.
The Federal Road Safety Corps is Nigeria's lead agency responsible with road safety and traffic management. Daniel Obi, Aso Television News.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Disu, has reassured all Nigerians of the unwavering commitment of the Nigerian Police Force to the protection of lives, property, and national peace in the light of evolving geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and their potential global implications. According to a statement issued by the force spokesperson, ACP Benjamin Hundeyi, while Nigeria remains stable and its internal security situations firmly under control, the force has reinforced proactive intelligence-led policing measures across the country. ACP Hundeyi said the acting IGP has directed all commissioners of police in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, with particular attention to the northwest, northeast, and north central zones to heighten surveillance and intelligence gathering, strengthen collaboration with traditional and religious leaders, enhance visibility policing around worship centers and public spaces, and swiftly address any attempt by individuals or groups to exploit global developments to incite unrest or sectarian tension. The police boss also noted that the Nigerian Police Force reiterates that Nigeria will not serve as a theater for foreign conflict, adding that any attempts to import external ideologies or religious tensions into the country will be met with the full weight of the law. IGP Disu called on community leaders nationwide to continue promoting peace and urges citizens to remain calm, vigilant, and law-abiding, reporting any suspicious activities to the nearest police formation. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Kadoso, has announced that Nigeria's net foreign exchange reserve rises to $34.8 billion at the 31st December 2025, marking a significant strengthening of the country's external buffers. The CBN, in a press release, disclosed that the improvement in both gross and net reserves underscores stronger external sector fundamentals and the impact of sustained policy reforms undertaken by the Apex Bank. The statement added that earlier at the Post-Monetary Policy Committee briefing, the CBN governor affirmed that Nigeria's gross external reserves stood at $50.45 billion as of February 16, 2026. Mr. Kadoso explained that the figures highlighted the gains from improved transparency and credibility in forex exchange management, which have boosted investor confidence, attracted stronger foreign exchange inflows, and enhanced reserve management practices aimed at preserving capital, ensuring liquidity, and promoting long-term sustainability, while describing the development as a substantial strengthening in both the level and quality of Nigeria's external reserves over the past 3 years. He further noted that the 2025 net reserve position alone exceeded the total gross reserves of $33.2 billion recorded at the end of 2023. According to him, the expansion demonstrates Nigeria's enhanced capacity to meet external obligations, support exchange rates stability, and reinforce overall microeconomic resilience. And that story brings us to the end of Aso Briefing for today. Many thanks for watching. I am Richard Alechinwanyebe.